We all know how it feels when the world seems to stand against us, when every move we make is met with resistance, and when the voices around us tell us it's impossible. But let me tell you this today, what is meant for you will come, no matter how many obstacles you face, no matter how much opposition surrounds you. There is something truly powerful about understanding and embracing the concept of divine timing. It's a notion that goes beyond human logic, beyond the limitations of the clock or calendar we often use to measure our lives. Divine timing is about trusting that everything happens for a reason, at the perfect moment, even if that moment doesn't align with our personal expectations or the opinions of others. It's about faith in something greater, something beyond our immediate understanding. When we grasp this, we begin to realize that our path in life is already set, and no amount of external resistance can derail what is meant to be. At times, life can feel like a relentless race against time. We are often conditioned to think that success must come quickly, that we must achieve certain milestones by certain ages. Society tells us there is a right time for everything: getting a degree, building a career, starting a family, and if we don't hit these marks, we feel as though we've fallen behind. But in the grand design, these human-made timelines are irrelevant. What we sometimes fail to see is that there's a plan that surpasses all human schedules. Divine timing operates on a different level entirely, one that is orchestrated perfectly for our growth, well-being, and ultimate purpose. There's an immense freedom that comes with recognizing that our timing isn't always the best timing. We may think we're ready for something, whether it's a job, a relationship, or a dream we've been nurturing, but that doesn't always mean that it's the right time for that dream to manifest. The universe or God sees the bigger picture in ways we cannot. Often what we perceive as delays or obstacles are actually moments of preparation. We are being readied for something greater, something we might not yet be able to handle in its entirety. This is where faith steps in. Faith is not just believing that something will happen, it's trusting that it will happen at exactly the right time. It's a surrender, a release of control, allowing the divine to guide the process rather than forcing outcomes. When we force things before their time, we may find ourselves in situations that are not fully developed, where we are not fully equipped to handle what we thought we were ready for. But when we trust the process, we align ourselves with divine timing, and the results are far more fulfilling and lasting. Think of planting a seed. You cannot rush the growth process. You can water it, provide it with sunlight, and nurture it. But the seed will only sprout when it's ready. The same is true for our dreams and desires. Just because something hasn't materialized in the time frame we expect doesn't mean it's not going to happen. It means that it's still growing beneath the surface, preparing to emerge at the perfect moment. If you rush the process, you may dig up the seed before it has had a chance to develop into what it's meant to be. There are times when everything seems to be going against us, when our plans fall apart, when people doubt us, when doors close. These moments can be disheartening, but they are often the very moments when divine timing is at work the most. Sometimes the universe closes doors because we are not meant to walk through them just yet. Other times those doors were never meant for us at all. What we perceive as rejection is often redirection. When you feel like you're being pushed back, know that something greater is being prepared for you, something far beyond what you may have imagined. Patience, in this case, becomes a form of spiritual strength. It's easy to want things to happen immediately. We live in a world where instant gratification is the norm. Fast results, quick success, and immediate solutions are expected. But the things that are truly worthwhile, the things that have a lasting impact on our lives and the lives of others, take time. Divine timing requires us to cultivate patience, not as a passive waiting, but as an active trust. It requires us to stay committed to our dreams, continue working toward our goals, and remain open to the lessons we need to learn along the way. The beauty of divine timing is that it often surprises us. When we stop obsessing over the when and how, when we release our attachment to specific outcomes, we often find that the blessings we receive are far greater than what we originally envisioned. This doesn't mean that the journey will be easy. In fact, there will be moments when it feels like everything is going wrong, when doubt creeps in, and when the pressure to give up becomes overwhelming. But these are the moments when faith must be stronger than fear. These are the moments when we must remind ourselves that we are not walking this path alone. There is a higher power guiding us, a force greater than ourselves that knows exactly what we need and when we need it. One of the challenges we face is learning to trust divine timing even when others around us don't. People may question your decisions, criticize your choices, or try to convince you that you're on the wrong path because you haven't yet seen the results. But their opinions are based on their limited understanding of timing. They don't see what's happening behind the scenes. They don't see the foundation that's being built, the growth that's taking place within you. In those moments, it's crucial to hold on to your faith and not let the doubts of others sway you from your path. We must also learn to embrace the waiting periods as times of preparation. Just because something hasn't arrived doesn't mean that nothing is happening. Often the waiting period is where the most important growth occurs. This is when we develop the skills, the resilience, and the mindset needed to handle the next phase of our journey. It's in the waiting that we learn patience, humility, and perseverance. It's in the waiting that we are refined and strengthened so that when our moment does come, we are truly ready to receive it. And when that moment arrives, when everything aligns and what you've been working toward finally manifests, you'll realize that the wait was worth it. You'll see that every obstacle, every delay, every closed door was part of a divine plan to bring you to exactly where you need to be. You'll understand that had things happened any sooner or any differently, you might not have been ready for the blessings that were meant for you. Life presents many moments where we are challenged by external forces, by people, circumstances, and sometimes even by our own fears and doubts. When everything and everyone seems to be standing in opposition to us, it's natural to feel disheartened, to wonder if the road is too difficult to travel, and to question whether we are on the right path at all. However, the truth is, the most powerful force you possess is not found in external validation or support, but within yourself. It is your inner strength, the quiet, unshakable resilience of your spirit that has the ability to overcome any opposition. At the core of inner strength is the belief in yourself, a deep-seated faith that you are capable of navigating life's challenges. This strength is not loud or boastful. It doesn't need the approval of others to exist. It is steady, resilient, and unwavering, even in the face of adversity. When others doubt you, when circumstances seem insurmountable, your inner strength becomes the anchor that keeps you grounded and determined. One of the most important lessons we learn in life is that external opposition is inevitable. There will always be critics, naysayers, and those who don't believe in your vision. It's a natural part of pursuing anything meaningful. The world often resists change, and when you seek to move beyond the ordinary, you will likely encounter resistance. But the opposition you face is not a reflection of your worth or your potential. Rather, it is a test of your resolve. Will you allow the opinions of others or the obstacles in your path to dictate your journey? Or will you tap into your inner strength and push forward despite them? Inner strength is developed in moments of challenge. It's easy to feel strong and confident when everything is going your way, but true strength is revealed when you face difficulties. In those moments, you are forced to look inward and discover reserves of courage and resilience you didn't even know you had. When others doubt you, it's not their doubts that define you, it's how you respond to those doubts. Will you crumble under the pressure, or will you rise, knowing that your strength comes from within, not from external approval? Opposition, while uncomfortable, serves an essential purpose. It forces us to clarify what we truly want and why we are pursuing it. When the road is easy, it's tempting to coast, to become complacent. But when we are faced with opposition, we are pushed to dig deeper, to reconnect with our purpose, and to reaffirm our commitment to our goals. In this way, opposition becomes a catalyst for growth. It challenges us to rise above, to strengthen our resolve, and to trust in our own abilities. Your inner strength is rooted in self-belief. This belief is not arrogance or overconfidence. It is a quiet assurance that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way. It's knowing that even if others do not understand your journey or support your vision, you can still move forward. It's trusting that your worth is not determined by outside opinions, but by the unwavering confidence you have in yourself. This belief is what fuels your inner strength and allows you to keep going when the odds are stacked against you. It's also important to remember that inner strength is not about denying fear or doubt. We all experience moments of uncertainty, but inner strength is about how we handle those moments. Instead of being paralyzed by fear, we acknowledge it, but we don't let it control us. Instead of allowing doubt to steer us off course, we remind ourselves of our purpose and press on. Inner strength doesn't mean never feeling weak, it means recognizing that even in our weakest moments, we are capable of overcoming. Think of the many great individuals throughout history who faced tremendous opposition. People like Nelson Mandela, Mahatma Gandhi, and Rosa Parks did not achieve their goals because they had no opposition, they achieved them, because they had an extraordinary inner strength that allowed them to keep going despite it. They believed in their cause so deeply that no amount of resistance could deter them. Their stories remind us that true strength is not the absence of struggle, but the ability to persist in the face of it. One of the key components of inner strength is resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks, to keep going even when things don't go as planned. It's understanding that failure is not the end, but a stepping stone on the path to success. When you face opposition, resilience allows you to see beyond the immediate challenge and focus on the bigger picture. It's the ability to remain calm in the storm, knowing that the storm will pass and that you have the strength to weather it. Opposition can also be a gift. It teaches you about yourself. It shows you where you are strong and where you need to grow. It pushes you to develop qualities like patience, perseverance, and adaptability. Without opposition, we would never fully understand our own potential. It's through overcoming challenges that we realize just how capable we are. Another important aspect of inner strength is self-discipline. When faced with opposition, it's easy to become discouraged or distracted. But inner strength requires that we stay focused on our goals, regardless of what is happening around us. Self-discipline is the ability to stay the course, even when it's difficult. It's the commitment to keep working toward your dream, even when others tell you it's impossible. With self-discipline, you don't rely on external motivation to keep going, you create your own. Inner strength is about trust in yourself and trust in the process. There will be times when the road is unclear, when you're not sure if you're making the right decisions. But inner strength means trusting that you are capable of finding your way. It's about trusting that every step you take, even the difficult ones, is leading you toward your ultimate goal. Trusting yourself means believing that you have the wisdom, the resilience, and the courage to navigate whatever comes your way. Persistence is one of the most powerful forces in achieving success, yet it's often underestimated or overlooked. Many people start a journey or a goal with enthusiasm, but when challenges arise, they falter, believing that perhaps the goal wasn't meant to be. However, the true test of character and ambition is not in the ease with which we begin, but in the persistence we show when the road becomes difficult. It is persistence that separates those who simply dream from those who turn their dreams into reality. The power of persistence lies in the ability to continue moving forward, regardless of obstacles, failures, or setbacks, with an unyielding belief that success will come. When we think about successful people, we often see the final product, the accolades, the recognition, the achievements, but we rarely see the long and often grueling journey that led them there. Every successful person has faced challenges, moments of doubt, and even failure. What sets them apart is their persistence. They didn't allow setbacks to stop them. Instead, they learned from them, adjusted their approach, and kept moving forward. This is the essence of persistence, the refusal to give up, no matter how many times you stumble or how long the journey takes. One of the key reasons persistence is so powerful is that it builds resilience. Every time we push through a challenge, we become stronger. Our ability to handle adversity improves, and we learn that obstacles are not the end of the road, but merely part of the journey. With each challenge overcome, we gain confidence in our ability to persist. We begin to see difficulties not as insurmountable problems, but as opportunities to grow and improve. This shift in mindset is critical. because it transforms the way we approach life. Instead of being discouraged by setbacks, we view them as necessary stepping stones on the path to success. Persistence also cultivates patience. In a world that often celebrates quick success and instant gratification, patience is a rare but essential quality. True success, the kind that lasts and has a meaningful impact, doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, effort, and perseverance. When we practice persistence, we learn to be patient with the process, understanding that growth and progress are often slow but steady. We stop rushing toward an outcome and instead focus on the daily actions that will get us closer to our goal. Patience allows us to stay the course, even when results aren't immediately visible, trusting that our efforts will eventually bear fruit. Another important aspect of persistence is the ability to embrace failure. Failure is an inevitable part of any worthwhile endeavor, but it's how we respond to failure that determines our success. Those who lack persistence view failure as a sign that they should give up, that their efforts were in vain. But those who understand the power of persistence know that failure is not the opposite of success, it is a crucial part of it. Each failure provides valuable lessons that can guide us as we move forward. Instead of being discouraged by failure, persistent individuals use it as fuel to refine their approach, improve their skills, and become better equipped to achieve their goals. Persistence also requires a deep sense of purpose. When we are clear about why we are pursuing a goal, it becomes easier to stay committed to it, even when the going gets tough. Purpose gives us the strength to push through challenges because we understand that what we are working toward is meaningful. It provides the motivation we need to keep going when others might give up. When our purpose is aligned with our persistence, we become unstoppable. No matter how many times we are knocked down, we get back up because we know that our goal is worth the effort. Another reason persistence is so powerful is that it creates momentum. In the beginning stages of any endeavor, progress may seem slow or non-existent. It's easy to become discouraged when we don't see immediate results. But persistence keeps us moving forward, even when progress is hard to measure. With each small step we take, we build momentum, and over time that momentum compounds. What once felt like an uphill battle begins to gain traction, and we find ourselves moving forward more quickly and with greater ease. Persistence, in this way, turns small actions into significant progress. Persistence is also about adaptability. It's not just about stubbornly sticking to a plan that isn't working. Instead, it's about being willing to adjust your approach when necessary while never losing sight of the end goal. When we persist, we remain open to learning, to trying new strategies, and to evolving as needed. Persistence allows us to stay committed to the destination while being flexible in how we get there. This adaptability is crucial because it enables us to navigate the inevitable twists and turns of the journey without losing hope or momentum. One of the greatest rewards of persistence is the sense of fulfillment that comes from achieving something difficult. When we persist in the face of adversity, we gain a deep sense of satisfaction that cannot be achieved through easy or quick success. The harder the journey, the more rewarding the victory. This fulfillment is not just about reaching the goal, it's about who we become in the process. Persistence transforms us. It strengthens our character, deepens our resilience, and builds our confidence. It teaches us that we are capable of far more than we initially believed. Persistence inspires others. When people see someone who refuses to give up, even when the odds are against them, it serves as a powerful example of what is possible. Persistence is contagious. It shows others that success is not about luck or talent alone, it's about the willingness to keep going, even when the path is difficult. By demonstrating persistence, we encourage those around us to do the same, creating a ripple effect of determination and resilience. Persistence also helps us develop a long-term perspective. In the pursuit of any meaningful goal, there will be days when progress seems minimal, when setbacks occur, or when the end seems out of reach. But when we practice persistence, we begin to understand that success is not about any single day or event, it's about the cumulative effect of consistent effort over time. Persistence teaches us to focus on the bigger picture, to trust that our daily actions, no matter how small they seem, are contributing to our long-term success. This perspective allows us to stay committed, even during the tough times, because we understand that success is a marathon, not a sprint. Persistence cultivates an unwavering belief in ourselves. When we persist in the face of challenges, we prove to ourselves that we are capable of achieving our goals. Each time we push through adversity, we reinforce our belief in our own abilities. This self-belief becomes a powerful force that propels us forward, even when doubt creeps in. Persistence builds confidence, not from external validation, but from the knowledge that we have the inner strength to overcome any obstacle. Life often takes us on unexpected journeys through paths that we never anticipated, and it can sometimes feel as though everything is falling apart. Our carefully laid plans unravel, leaving us questioning where we went wrong. Yet, amidst all this uncertainty and confusion, there is a divine truth that remains constant. God's plan is unshakable. No matter how turbulent life becomes, or how much opposition we face, God's purpose for us stands firm, unwavering, and always working for our ultimate good. Trusting in this divine plan requires faith, patience, and the ability to see beyond our immediate circumstances, recognizing that everything is happening for a reason, even when it's not immediately clear. One of the greatest challenges we face is aligning our own plans and desires with God's plan. As humans, we often have our own ideas of how things should go: career aspirations, personal goals, relationships, and when life takes a different turn, we feel frustrated and disheartened. But God, in His infinite wisdom, sees the bigger picture. What we perceive as detours or setbacks are often necessary steps in the unfolding of a much larger plan. His timing is perfect, even when it doesn't align with ours. It's in these moments of waiting or disappointment that we are called to trust Him fully, believing that what He has in store for us is far greater than anything we could have imagined for ourselves. God's plan is unshakable because it is grounded in love. The Bible tells us that God works all things together for the good of those who love Him, Romans 8:28. This doesn't mean that everything that happens to us will be easy or comfortable, but it does mean that even in the hardest moments, God is still in control, working everything out for our benefit. His love for us is steadfast and unchanging, and because of that, we can rest assured that no matter what happens, we are held within His purpose. When the storms of life rage, and when it feels as though everything is crumbling, God's love is the anchor that holds us steady, reminding us that His plan is still in motion. It's important to remember that God's plan for our lives doesn't always align with worldly success or the expectations of others. We live in a culture that often equates success with wealth, status, and outward achievements, but God's priorities are different. His plan for us is centered on our spiritual growth, our relationship with Him, and the fulfillment of our unique purpose. This means that sometimes His plan will take us on unexpected or difficult paths. We may face trials, losses, or challenges that seem unfair or unnecessary, but in God's economy, every experience is purposeful. Every trial is an opportunity to deepen our faith, to grow in character, and to rely more fully on Him. There is great peace in knowing that God's plan cannot be thwarted by anyone or anything. No matter how much opposition we face, whether from people, circumstances, or even our own fears and doubts, God's purpose will prevail. This is evident throughout the Bible, where we see countless examples of God's plan triumphing over seemingly insurmountable obstacles. Consider the story of Joseph, who was sold into slavery by his own brothers, falsely accused and imprisoned, yet God used these very circumstances to elevate him to a position of great authority in Egypt, where He ultimately saved his family and many others from famine. What others meant for harm, God used for good. Genesis 50:20. This is the power of God's unshakable plan. What looks like a setback to us is often a setup for something far greater in His divine plan. Another key aspect of God's unshakable plan is the way He uses even our mistakes and failures for His glory. As humans, we are prone to making wrong choices, to straying from the path God has set before us. But even when we veer off course, God has a way of bringing us back and using our missteps for good. He is not limited by our shortcomings or failures. In fact, he often uses our brokenness to accomplish his purpose. This is a profound reminder of his grace and mercy. No matter how far we stray, God's plan for us remains intact, and he can redeem even the worst situations for his glory and our ultimate good. Faith in God's unshakable plan requires surrender. It requires us to let go of our need for control and to trust that God is leading us exactly where we need to be, even when we don't understand it. This surrender is not passive. It's an active choice to trust God in every situation, to believe that he is at work in the midst of our circumstances. It's about releasing our grip on our own plans and desires, and instead opening our hearts to the possibility that God's plan, though different from what we envisioned, is far better. This kind of faith is not easy, but it is deeply rewarding, because it frees us from the constant anxiety and pressure of trying to figure everything out on our own. It's also important to recognize that God's plan is not just about us as individuals, it's about his greater purpose for the world. Each of us has a unique role to play in God's plan, and sometimes what we go through is not just for our benefit, but for the benefit of others. Our experiences, especially the difficult ones, often equip us to help others who are going through similar struggles. In this way, God's plan is not only personal, but communal. We are part of a larger story, a divine tapestry, where every thread, every life is intricately woven together to fulfill God's purpose. In moments of doubt, when it feels like nothing is going as planned, we can take comfort in the fact that God's plan is unshakable, because it is rooted in his sovereignty. God is in control of everything. Nothing happens outside of his will. This doesn't mean that we won't face hardships or that life will always be easy, but it does mean that nothing can derail God's purpose for our lives. He sees the end from the beginning, and he knows exactly what we need to fulfill the destiny he has set before us. Trusting in God's unshakable plan is an invitation to rest. It's an invitation to release the burden of trying to make everything happen on our own, and instead to lean into the assurance that God is already at work orchestrating everything for our good and his glory. It's a reminder that we don't have to have all the answers, because God does. His plan is perfect, and though we may not always understand it, we can trust that it is leading us toward the fulfillment of his purpose for our lives. Opposition is an inevitable part of life. Every individual at some point faces obstacles, challenges, and resistance, whether from external forces or from within. These moments of opposition may come in the form of people doubting you, circumstances not aligning with your expectations, or even your own self-doubt creeping in. While opposition often feels uncomfortable and difficult, it is a powerful teacher. In fact, some of the most important lessons we learn in life come from moments when we are pushed to the brink, when things don't go according to plan, and when it feels like the world is against us. One of the first lessons opposition teaches us is resilience. Resilience is the ability to withstand adversity and keep going, no matter what challenges arise. It's the internal strength that pushes us forward even when it feels like everything is falling apart. Opposition tests this resilience, showing us just how much we can endure. When we face difficulties, we have two choices: to give up or to push through. Each time we choose to persevere in the face of adversity, we strengthen our resilience. Over time, this builds a deep sense of inner strength and courage. It's through opposition that we realize we are capable of far more than we ever imagined. Opposition also teaches us humility. When everything is going well, it's easy to believe that we have all the answers, that we are in control, and that we are responsible for our own success. But when we face challenges, we are reminded that we are not invincible. Opposition humbles us by showing us our limitations and forcing us to recognize that we don't always have control over the outcomes. This humility is a valuable lesson because it keeps us grounded and reminds us to rely not only on our own abilities, but also on the support of others, and for many, on their faith. It is in moments of opposition that we learn to let go of our pride and embrace the fact that life is a journey filled with both highs and lows. Another crucial lesson that opposition brings is clarity. When everything is going smoothly, we may lose sight of what truly matters. We may become distracted by trivial pursuits or get caught up in the pursuit of things that are not aligned with our true purpose. Opposition forces us to refocus. It strips away the unnecessary and brings clarity to what is most important in our lives. Whether it's a personal challenge that forces us to reevaluate our relationships, a professional setback that encourages us to rethink our career path, or an internal struggle that pushes us to grow spiritually, opposition often acts as a catalyst for personal growth and transformation. In the midst of opposition, we are given the opportunity to gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and our values. Perhaps one of the most profound lessons that opposition teaches is the value of perseverance. Life is not a straight path, it's filled with twists, turns, and unexpected obstacles. It's easy to stay motivated when everything is going well, but true perseverance is tested when we encounter setbacks. Opposition forces us to dig deep and continue moving forward, even when it feels like progress is impossible. Each time we choose to persevere, we are reminded of the importance of determination and grit. These qualities are essential for achieving long-term success and fulfillment. Without opposition, we might never develop the resilience needed to keep going when things get tough. It is through these challenges that we learn to persevere, even in the face of overwhelming odds. Opposition also teaches us empathy. When we face our own challenges, we become more aware of the struggles of others. Opposition has a way of softening our hearts and increasing our capacity for compassion. It's difficult to understand what someone else is going through until we've experienced something similar ourselves. When we face opposition, we become more sensitive to the pain and difficulties that others may be facing. This empathy helps us connect with others on a deeper level, fostering kindness, understanding, and support. Opposition reminds us that we are all human and that everyone, no matter how successful or strong they appear on the outside, faces challenges. By embracing this lesson, we can become more compassionate and supportive to those around us. Opposition teaches us patience. In a world that often values instant gratification, opposition slows us down and forces us to wait. Whether it's waiting for a resolution, for healing, or for a breakthrough, opposition teaches us that not everything happens on our timeline. Patience is not an easy lesson to learn, but it's a vital one. In moments of opposition, we often want to rush through the challenge or find a quick fix. But these experiences remind us that growth takes time. Patience allows us to endure the waiting period, trusting that in due time, things will unfold as they are meant to. This lesson is especially important in today's fast-paced world, where we often feel pressure to achieve immediate results. Opposition teaches us that some things are worth the wait, and that patience is a virtue that leads to long-lasting success. Opposition also teaches us to trust the process. Life's journey is not linear, and there will always be moments when things don't go according to plan. Opposition reminds us that even when things seem to be falling apart, there is often a greater plan at work. Whether it's a failed business venture, a personal heartbreak, or an internal battle, opposition encourages us to trust that these challenges are part of a bigger picture. This trust allows us to let go of the need for immediate answers and embrace the uncertainty of life. It's in these moments of opposition that we learn to have faith, not only in ourselves but also in the process of life itself. By trusting the process, we can find peace in the midst of challenges, knowing that everything will work out in the end. Opposition teaches us the power of hope. When we face challenges, it's easy to feel defeated and lose hope. But opposition also presents an opportunity to cultivate hope, even in the darkest moments. Hope is the belief that better days are ahead, that no matter how difficult things may seem, there is always a light at the end of the tunnel. Opposition challenges us to hold on to hope, even when everything seems to be falling apart. This hope fuels our perseverance and keeps us moving forward. It reminds us that no matter how tough the road may be, there is always the possibility of redemption, healing, and growth. Hope is a powerful force that can carry us through even the most difficult moments of opposition. Letting go of the need for approval from others is a liberating and empowering step towards personal freedom. Many of us grow up with an intrinsic desire to be liked, accepted, and validated by those around us. It's a natural part of being human to seek connection and affirmation from family, friends, and society. However, the need for constant approval can become a burden, creating an invisible chain that ties us to the opinions, judgments, and expectations of others. To truly live authentically and fulfill our potential, it is essential to release this need and embrace the idea that we are enough, just as we are. The first step in letting go of approval is recognizing the source of the need. From a young age, many of us are conditioned to seek validation. Whether through praise for good behavior, academic achievements, or social interactions, approval becomes a measure of our worth. As we grow older, this need for approval can become ingrained in our psyche, leading us to shape our actions, thoughts, and decisions based on what others think. We may choose careers that please our parents, pursue relationships that meet societal expectations, or even suppress our true selves to fit in. But the reality is, no matter how hard we try to seek approval from others, it's a never-ending cycle. People's opinions are ever changing, and basing our self-worth on their validation is like chasing an illusion. One of the most significant lessons in letting go of approval is understanding that self-worth comes from within. No external validation can truly define our value. When we rely on others to tell us who we are or how we should be, we give away our power. The key to breaking free from this cycle is to build a solid foundation of self-worth that is independent of external opinions. This involves acknowledging our strengths, embracing our imperfections, and trusting in our unique journey. Self-acceptance allows us to stand tall, confident in who we are, without the constant need for others to validate us. Another powerful aspect of letting go of approval is realizing that everyone has their own perceptions, biases, and judgments. People's opinions are often shaped by their own experiences, fears, and insecurities. What one person thinks about you is more a reflection of them than it is of you. For example, someone may criticize your choices because they are projecting their own doubts and limitations. When we internalize these opinions, we allow their insecurities to become our own. By letting go of the need for approval, we free ourselves from being controlled by these external forces and can make decisions that are true to ourselves, not based on the expectations of others. Letting go of approval also empowers us to be more authentic. When we are constantly seeking validation, we tend to hide parts of ourselves that we think may not be accepted. We wear masks, suppress our true feelings, and conform to what we believe others want us to be. But this not only stifles our growth, it also creates an internal conflict. Deep down, we know we are not being true to ourselves, and this can lead to feelings of frustration, anxiety, and dissatisfaction. By releasing the need for approval, we give ourselves permission to be authentic, to show up as we are, without fear of judgment. This authenticity fosters deeper connections with others, because when we are real, we attract people who appreciate us for who we truly are, not for the image we project. In addition to authenticity, letting go of approval opens the door to greater creativity and freedom. When we stop worrying about what others think, we free up mental and emotional space to explore our passions, ideas, and dreams. Fear of judgment can stifle creativity and prevent us from taking risks or pursuing unconventional paths. However, when we let go of that fear, we unlock our full creative potential. We become willing to experiment, try new things, and follow our inner calling, even if it goes against the grain. This freedom to explore without the constraint of others' opinions leads to a richer, more fulfilling life. Letting go of approval also allows us to set healthier boundaries. People-pleasing is a common behavior for those who seek approval. We say yes when we want to say no, we overextend ourselves to avoid disappointing others, and we compromise our own needs to keep the peace. But constantly seeking approval often comes at the expense of our well-being. When we let go of the need for approval, we become more attuned to our own needs and desires. We learn to set boundaries that protect our time, energy, and emotional health. This doesn't mean we become selfish or unkind, rather. It means we prioritize our own well-being and make decisions that are aligned with our values and goals. An important realization in this journey is that not everyone will approve of or understand your choices, and that's okay. It's impossible to please everyone, and trying to do so is a losing battle. Some people will support you, others may criticize or disagree with you, and some may be indifferent. But ultimately, their opinions don't define you. What matters is that you are living in alignment with your truth, following your own path, and doing what brings you joy and fulfillment. When you let go of the need for approval, you release the pressure to be perfect in everyone's eyes and embrace the beauty of being perfectly imperfect in your own. Letting go of approval is a lifelong practice. It's not something that happens overnight, and it's natural to still care about what others think from time to time. The key is to become more aware of when you are seeking approval, and to gently remind yourself that you don't need it. Each time you make a decision based on your own inner guidance rather than external validation, you strengthen your ability to trust yourself. Over time, this trust becomes second nature, and the opinions of others lose their grip on you. You begin to realize that true freedom comes from living authentically, following your own path, and trusting that you are enough just as you are.